So, lads, it looks like the WNBA are preparing right now for a lockout. It looks like they are preparing for a lockout because they have their union meeting right here. And yeah, so anyway, it says here, obviously, they need to reach a new CBA by October the 31st, or it could lead to a work stoppage. It says here the Players Association and Top League brass will meet on Thursday afternoon in Indianapolis ahead of the All-Star game. Union President Neko Wumike said earlier this month the meeting will influence the tone of negotiations moving forward. I could feel more confident going into India, Wumike said, but I've also been in a meeting at All-Star where a lot came of it. We're in the meat of the season. We'll know perhaps after this CBA meeting in July when you're sitting at the table. Things a lot of times, in my experience, get done a little bit more efficiently. New York Post reported Tuesday the players are bracing for a potential work stoppage as negotiations have gone slowly. A gulf remains between the sides out of the Indianapolis meeting. Union's been clear from the moment they opted out of current CBA. They want a better revenue sharing model, increased salaries, improved benefits, and a softer salary cap. All are completely reasonable. All are completely reasonable. I don't think anyone would argue that wanting any of those things is unreasonable. A goal for May, where is it? After WNBPA submitted numerous proposals, the WNBA finally countered with an offer that many players said they staunchly disapproved of because of its fixed salary cap structure. Multiple players have said they will attend Thursday's meeting, including Fever star Caitlyn Clark. The meetings that are going to happen in Indianapolis are going to be really important, Clark said. Although I'm not our team rep in the committee, I'm still trying to understand and engage as much as possible. It's my second year in the league, but also it's a very important time for our league and where it's going to continue to grow. So, I'm certainly looking forward to these meetings and being in them, and I think everybody in our league is to help these CBA talks continue to move forward. This will be WNBPA's second in-person meeting with the league after 1 December. If there's not a new CBA by 31st of October, players could strike or be locked out by the owners, which could present immediate issues. The expansion draft for the Portland Fire and Tempo is expected to take place in December, and free agency typically begins in January. WNBA has never lost games to a work stoppage, although labor negotiations in 2003 offseason delayed that April's draft by a week. I don't know the odds of this happening. And the fact that they are, it seems like they're sending in Caitlyn Clark to stop the lockout. It actually does seem like that. It seems like they're playing the Caitlyn Clark card. It seems like all is gone, and they are immediately throwing in the Caitlyn Clark trump card. They're playing the Caitlyn Clark card. They're, the WNBPA they're Ash Ketchum, Ash Ketchum in season 1 where they really didn't want to. He didn't want to. It pissed him off, or he pissed him off so much. He had no intention of doing it. And then suddenly it gets to the Elite Four. Nothing's going right. They didn't like... Ash wasn't a fan, but that Charizard that kept disobeying him. He just had to risk using the Charizard. And that's it with the WNBPA. They probably don't particularly want Caitlyn Clark to be there, but they know they need it. They know that probably their best chance of not getting a lockout is Caitlyn Clark. And I think in general, it's something that they should be doing. And it's something that is right. Caitlyn Clark should have been involved in every one of these talks from the get-go. The WNBPA, Neko Wumike, because obviously, look, we can't lie. We can't lie and pretend that Caitlyn Clark's growth is not a huge thing. We can't lie and pretend that the fact that the vast majority of us that are watching WNBA stuff or making WNBA content are only doing so because of the boom in this league that was started by Caitlyn Clark. We can be honest, it was all started by that. And look, and this is coming from somebody who did watch the league occasionally, who would watch the finals most years, who watched a lot more of this league. And as someone who comes from Ireland, I watch a lot of Irish basketball, and the level of basketball here is not particularly high. So it's not, maybe nowadays there's a huge gap between our Super League and the WNBA, but growing up, I played in our Super League. I played in the top league here. And It's not that much higher. It's not that much higher level than the WNBA. And I loved watching games in our top league. I grew up watching that. So for me, it's just basketball, and it was basketball on during the summer. But like, let's be real. If it wasn't for Caitlyn Clark, we can't lie. I wouldn't be here making these videos. I'd be making NBA videos and talking about NBA free agency, talking about the Bradley Beal situation. I'd be doing that. I maybe would be still making 2K videos. Like, the fact is that like Caitlyn Clark has brought all of us to this point right now, whether we are avid viewers or avid consumers of the product, and that is a positive thing. I think the WNBPA should have realized that and been like, look, we have to be honest with ourselves first and foremost. We have to be honest with ourselves, and then we can eventually, if we're honest with ourselves, we can be honest with we can bring Caitlyn Clark and be like, look, she should have been in those meetings in December. There should have been a sit down being like, look, you are the biggest draw. Like, you're trying to get spot bonuses for players. The main way we're going to be able to negotiate for this is if you're there. We have significantly more negotiating power if you end up being there. And for me, anyway, that's something that people aren't necessarily, I don't know if the players necessarily are as willing to do. And it seems like they've gotten a little bit better because, like, Caitlyn Clark she's going to be here. She's going to be here in negotiations. She's going to be there at the meetings, which is so important because, again, Caitlyn Clark is the needle mover. And that's the thing, like, her impact is way higher. Way, way higher than anyone else's. If there is a player that can put forward something and have it kind of stick, it is Caitlyn Clark, because very, 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 very much she has the ability to, she has the leverage. The players don't, she does. The Indiana Fever have the leverage. The Golden State Valkyries have the leverage. And I think that's one of the problems, is that in American leagues with CBAs and all this stuff, there are some teams that have leverage and others that don't. And it's unlike, say, in English football, where, let's be real, if there's certain rules that maybe might not, it's actually, English football's changing a lot because of the American owners. But let's be real, the ability for Man City to be the best team in the world is not going to be affected by what the owner of Brighton or the owner of Leeds or the owner of, I'm trying to think who's going to go down. Probably Burnley. Like, their owners don't have equal say to, well, sorry, they do. But, like, they're not going, like, their owners are not going to be able to affect the league in a way that necessarily screws over the league's overall ability. And everything is on like a team by team basis in terms of finances. But in American League, unfortunately, you're only as good as your cheapest owner. Anyway, yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.